So that's where we are on this particular subject. Pressure is continuing to mount on government to make public details of that report. We heard there John Mahama also adding his voice. Let's speak to security analyst Adam Bona on this. Mr. Bona, thank you for joining us. Now, I know you're one of the individuals who was very loud in getting authorities to set up, a committee of sorts to probe the disturbances in Ejura. A couple of months on, are you worried or surprised that we still do not know the content of this report as presented by the Kumsin-led committee?
Well, yes, good afternoon, and good afternoon to your viewers. Well, months on, I mean, this is it's a public knowledge now that the committee is what is concluded. And so some of us advocated strongly to have this committee set up to probe, and let us know what took place. And this was televised. So some of us have higher expectations and have advocated that compensation and adequate compensation should be paid to those victims of those who died, their families, and those who suffered one injury or the other through what took place on that fateful day. And so, yes, I would say better late than never. I would want to urge government to expedite, the publication of the finding. They should publish it quickly. But I must also put across when your producer called me with regards to, talking to me, I had to do a quick check to find out where this thing has gotten to. And I'm reliably informed that this would have been made public maybe today or tomorrow. But the old man, the president, obviously, I think this is now with him of assault. And he's in the, Upper East for, I think, a bar conference of assault. And so I am reliably informed that barring any last minute hitches, this document is going to be publicized. It's going to be published by Thursday, Friday, so that we'll all get to know the content of it. And I am hoping to see who did what and the compensation to be paid for these people, adequate compensation. Let me reiterate that adequate compensation. Yes.
Sometime last week, we had a government delegation go to Ejura to visit the victims of those who sustained injuries and those who passed on, for example. But the residents and the families were not satisfied because, according to them, the visit was merely to announce to them that the report was ready and has been submitted to the president. What does this kind of meeting do to the psyche of families of incidents such as this? Does it go ahead to assuage their pain in any way?
Well, I think so. I mean, to assuage their pain, it was good. Some of us advocated that, advocated behind the scene to, let the authorities, the powers that be, go there. Because at the end of the day, whether they receive you well or they didn't receive you well, as far as I'm concerned, they have to continuously engage the family. And some of us did advocate. I don't know whether the police have done that to ensure that they get psychological support, because at the end of the day, what happened shouldn't have taken place. It's taken place, but what do you do to assuage their pain? You need to constantly engage them, hoping that one day they would find it within themselves. If the report comes out to ensure, detail what took place, they might find it within themselves to say, well, they would have to accept what happened, even though it is difficult.
Okay.
And so let's hope and see within this week what the report is going to look like, what compensation will be paid to who, and then who is culpable, and all those who are going to, who might be cited for doing something that was untoward, get punished according to maybe the findings.
And before I let you go, Mr. Bona, the family had also raised a concern, specifically the Kaka family, that they have not been having any updates in terms of where the police is on the probe into the death of their kinsman, for example. It was one of the main issues they put to the chief imam to ensure that a liaison of sorts is, put in place between the police and the family, so they know at least what's going on with respect to the probe into the killing of their own.
Yes, it is very, very important because it is the death of Kaka that culminated into people, some other two young men dying and others getting amputated, others suffering bullets, receiving bullets into their tummies and all that, and various parts, injuries and all that. And so it is very important to know what happened to Kaka, especially when it is public knowledge. The police have Kaka's brother, sibling. Police have him, and he's allegedly, he's suspected to be one of the persons who might have been part of, how Kaka died. And so, as far as I'm concerned, the police would have to continuously engage the, Kaka's family. They need to know, especially when one brother is gone, another brother is in custody. I would say that it doesn't matter whether a relation was, if it's a relation, if he was involved, the findings should prove it. If it's not involved, he should be free.